Hi, welcome to this training on Introduction to Excel Functions Part 5. In this video, we're going to look at how to join tests from two or more cells into one other cells. We're going to use two approaches for this video, and the first approach is the concatenate function, while we'll use the ampersand. The concatenate is actually a function that joins two or more tests into one other cell. Now, we'll look at our data. Here we have surname, first name, other names, and full names. Now, our task for this particular job is to put the three of these names into one column. Now, the concatenate function syntax is equal to concatenate. You open a bracket, you take the first test, take a comma, T2, which is the second test, take a comma until you take the last test. Now, when you're writing names, we should bear in mind that after each name there will be a space. So we're going to say equal to concatenate. Now the moment I type concat, I will say concatenate, I'll take that. Now my T1 is the first test here. So I place it here and I take comma. It's asking for a second test. Now if we place this as our second test and take a comma and place this as our third test, look at what we're going to have. We're going to have name like this, which is not fine. We've just mumbled all the whole three names together. Now we need to do our function in such a way that after each name there is a space that separates each of the names. So what we're going to do is to say concatenate, take the first test. After that first test we take a comma. Now our next test will be a space, and we've actually learned how to apply an item outside the database, that outside the data source, that is not a number. So we're going to open a quote and press our space bar. Our space bar is the usual way to create a space. So that's our second test. Our third test is going to be this, and I take a comma, and our next test will be a space, and then we take our last test, which is this, and press enter. Now this is all that we need to do. We just drag this down. So this is how you can use the concatenate function to pick tests from two or more cells into one other cell. Now another approach is using the ampersand approach. Now the ampersand is simply the symbol and. It is not a function. It's not one of the many functions that we mentioned in our earlier videos. It's not a function, it's simply the AND function. So what we're going to do is saying equal to, I'm going to open a bracket the same way it is here. I take this first one. Now instead of taking a comma, I'm going to take AND. So I take AND. That's Shift 7 on my laptop. Now I take AND. The next thing will be a space. So I create the space. And then I take AND again. And I take the next word. Then I take AND because I need another space. And I take AND again. So I just place this and I press my OK. Okay, cool. So I copy this one down. Now these are the two approaches we're going to adopt. We're adopting for this particular video. There are other approaches that can be applied, and we're going to look at that in our next videos. Thank you for listening, and bye bye.